2 nights ago, everything I thought I knew about love and trust shattered. I was set to marry Lena Rivers, the woman I believed was my soulmate. At 32, a senior architect, I had my life mapped out. Everything was in place. The wedding was only 3 weeks away. The invitations were sent, the venue booked, the dress tailored, and even my mom had started drafting her speech. Then it all came crashing down. It was 11:45 p.m. when I finally returned home after a long, grueling shift at work. I was drained, just stepping out of a cold shower, ready to collapse on the bed. But then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Sienna, Lena's best friend. She had sent me a video, and I had no idea what I was about to see. I opened it, the music blared in the background, and it looked like a house party, loud, carefree. I didn't recognize Lena at first. She was in a sparkling black dress, moving confidently among the crowd. Then I realized she wasn't just dancing with one guy. She was switching between men, arms wrapped around their necks, laughing, making out, and moving from one guy to the next like it was all part of the show. By the end of the clip, 2 men were pulling her into a back room while the rest of the party cheered them on, clapping and egging them on like it was some kind of performance. The video was only 60 seconds long, but that minute gutted me. I couldn't breathe. I just lay there, my chest burning, my palms clammy, feeling like I hadn't just stepped out of a cold shower. The room was silent except for the thumping in my chest, my mind still trying to process what I had just witnessed. Why had Sienna sent this? Why would she do that? Then my phone rang. It was Sienna. I almost didn't pick up, but I did. "Don't lose it, Nathan," she said, her voice shaky. "I'm coming over. Please, just let me in." I didn't know what to think. Sienna had been Lena's closest friend since college, and she was supposed to be her maid of honor. I was still processing the betrayal. If she came over to defend Lena, I don't know what I would have done. Not physically. I'm not that guy, but I would have lost it. When I opened the door, I could see that Sienna hadn't slept either. She walked in quietly, and without a word, sat next to me on the couch like we had done this 100 times before. She pulled out her phone and started showing me everything. Photos, screenshots, voice notes, group chats. Lena had been cheating on me for months, and her friends were in on it. They even had a nickname for me, the Loyal Knight, because they assumed I loved her too much to leave. I was stunned. I asked Sienna why she was showing me all this. Was this some kind of test? Did they want to see if I'd still marry Lena after everything? "No," Sienna said, shaking her head. "I'm done with them, too." That's when the Real story came out. Lena had been hitting on Sienna's boyfriend, James. Not just flirting. She'd message him, telling him to come to the party without Sienna, because she would kill the vibe. Sienna found the messages by accident, confronted James, and instead of denying it, he admitted everything. He told her that Lena had been pushing for weeks. Sienna, however, didn't want to lose him, so she went to the party. She witnessed everything firsthand, and when she saw Lena kiss James and head off with him to a back room, she snapped. "I didn't agree with any of it," Sienna said, crying now. But I stayed quiet. I told myself it wasn't my business. But last night, I realized they never respected me either. I don't remember what happened next, but somehow we ended up hugging. We sat there on the couch, holding each other, both of us broken. We cried for what felt like forever, in silence, letting the weight of everything sink in. When we pulled apart, her eyes swollen from tears, Sienna looked at me and asked, "What do you want to do?" "I don't know," I replied. "What if we expose them? Post a video, the text, all of it on the wedding Facebook page? Tag everyone." It was a tempting thought. But the issue was Lena was the admin of the page, not me. So I thought of another idea. How about we wait until the wedding day? Show everything on a projector at the ceremony, like one of those viral revenge wedding clips? Sienna looked at me like I had lost my mind, but then she softened. "Or you could just cancel now. Save yourself. You can still recover the money." She was right. I had already lost so much. Why lose more? We stayed up all night, calling vendors, canceling contracts, telling our parents. I managed to recover about 60% of the wedding funds. Some vendors even waived their fees after hearing what happened. Sympathy was powerful. By the time the sun was up, Sienna didn't want to go back to her apartment. James was still there, and I didn't want to face Lena when she came home. So I made an impulsive decision. I booked a cabin in the mountains for a week. I told Sienna she could come if she wanted, and she said yes. 3 hours later, we were on our way. The drive was quiet, not uncomfortable, just filled with too many thoughts to speak. Sienna dozed off after an hour, her head resting against the passenger window, arms tightly crossed. I kept my focus on the road, watching the city disappear into trees, the noise of the world replaced by the stillness of nature. And for the first time in days, my heartbeat slowed. The cabin was small, sitting on the edge of a lake. It wasn't fancy, just a quiet, peaceful retreat surrounded by pine trees with no Wi-Fi. Something I hadn't realized I desperately needed until I didn't have it. It was just the two of us, a few groceries, a fireplace, and the sound of water gently lapping against the rocks. That first day, we didn't speak much. We each took our own space. Sienna curled up with a blanket on the couch, staring into the fire. I walked down to the dock, just to stare at the lake. I tossed a rock into the water and thought, what am I doing? Why did I bring her here? But then I remembered the look on Sienna's face the night before, how she had felt the same pain I had. I hadn't brought her to escape her problems. I brought her because she understood mine better than anyone else. That night, we sat outside under the stars, sharing whiskey from a bottle Sienna had found in the cupboard. We started talking, not about Lena, not about James, but about ourselves. I learned that Sienna wasn't just Lena's best friend. She had always been the outsider in their circle, the grounded one, the one with values. They only kept her around because she knew how to keep secrets. But eventually, they had forgotten that she had a conscience. I knew what Lena was doing to you, she said, her voice quiet. I just didn't want to get involved. That's my biggest regret. I didn't blame her. Not entirely. We all make compromises for people we care about, even when they don't deserve it. Did you do that with Lena? She asked. I nodded. I think I was in love with who she pretended to be, not who she really was. We were silent for a while after that. But that night, something shifted. 3 days later, Lena showed up, well, not in person, but through Sienna's phone. She tried calling me dozens of times. I had blocked her number, blocked her on social media, but Sienna hadn't. Lena left a voicemail, her voice frantic, unhinged. She knew the wedding had been canceled, and that people were asking questions. Some of the vendors had apparently spilled the beans. Her perfect little world of lies was crumbling. You don't get to ruin my life because you got your feelings hurt, she screamed on the voicemail. Nathan's too soft to go through with it. He'll forgive me. He always does. I remember laughing bitterly at that line. Too soft? I had just torn down everything I had built for someone I loved. That wasn't softness. That was survival. Then, the voicemail took a darker turn. And if you're with him, Sienna, I swear to God I'll burn everything down. Don't think I don't know what you're doing. There was silence after the recording ended. For the first time since we arrived, Sienna looked scared. Do you think she'll show up? She asked. I didn't need to answer, because the next morning we saw her car drive through town, just 15 minutes away. She was looking for us. I made a call. Ben, a former Marine turned private security consultant, owed me a favor. He drove up that night, stayed nearby, just in case Lena tried anything crazy. But she never found us. Instead, Sienna posted the video, not on the wedding page, but on her own profile. The caption read, "Some truths deserve to be seen. If you mock love, you don't get to fake it later." The video spread quickly, faster than I thought it would.